you just bought your car and you're thinking about making it better. Always think about that when we're talking about, anything you own, right? Yourself even. You always want to make it better. So what are some things that you can do as a complete newbie Subi owner to make your car feel more premium? Let's go. Welcome to the cockpit. Now, the cockpit's the place, the driver's seat, is the place that you're going to be spending the most time, okay? So there's something about ergonomics and like the feeling of things, right? So what are you going to be touching the most? Your steering wheel. First upgrade that I did for feeling, like, it's going to be confusing. I'm going to call it the handles, but like actually literally handling the car was a leather wrapped steering wheel. I bought this off of eBay, shipped to me from a foreign country, and you have to stitch it yourself. There's all different types of versions that you can get, right? But the hand stitch ones, if you hand stitch your steering wheel, it's, handmade and hand grip for yourself, right? After time, the leather gets impregnated from the oils on your hands, and it just feels real nice. Just added bit of personal touch to your own car. So one of the first modifications I did was not an intake now or any of this engine dress up stuff. It was actually something further inside here. That there is a pitch stop. I think out of all of the modifications for anyone that's thinking about performance, that's probably the first easy to do modification. Typically inside there's a dog bone, as they call it, and it has very soft rubber bushings. And that thing is supposed to dampen the vibration from the engine when it is attached to the rest of the car. Typically at this pitch stop area and then below with engine mounts. So if you replace the OEM pitch stop with a newer one with more firm bushings, a little bit more of that power transfer to the rest of the car will start happening through the drivetrain. It's probably the first mod that a lot of people do, and I think it's very worth it. So a little bit more about that pitch stop. I would like to suggest avoiding the solid billet pitch stops for a regular everyday driver. Those things are more intended for race cars that don't care about noise, harshness, or vibration. And just know that when you start the car, sometimes you'll hear the ignition vibration through the dashboard a little bit more than you're used to. So if you're really sensitive to that, you might want to skip this one. I forgot totally. So the very first handling mod that I bought for this car was a rear sway bar. And the rear sway bar allows the car to roll and wallow less in the corners. It changes its kind of footprint, like how it handles, what kind of car it becomes, right? As soon as you put a rear sway bar in, you're already going for the handles. Continue up that path. Next, you'll notice the bat wings kind of blooming out here. These are paddle shifter extenders. If you are a manual owner, there's a lot of enjoyment in the shifter, short throws, shift knobs, leather stuff, and, just making it all glitzy and stuff. This is a CVT automatic, so the only thing that I'm concerned with, actually, I run through all of these things. So, yeah, if you want to do your boot, you can do that too. The paddle shifters, if you're going to be playing with the gears in an automated manual car, you'll want good controls, things that you touch, right? So these extend the area which you can use this paddle shifter. Typically, it's just here, to here. So this extends the range when you're steering the car, right? You can actually handle the gears while you're shifting. So I may not be the best person to talk about tires and stuff, but upgrading your tires to something that is better than the OEM, think is a must if you're thinking about performance driving at all. The Yokohamas that came on this at 205 50 17s, they were pretty slippery to be honest. So I went with the Firestone Firehawk, and I've done so for 3 seasons. And you can see how thrashed this tire is, and I still drive them because they still have a decent amount of tread left. It's just the edges are kind of feathered there. But yeah, I take my car through the paces. I think tires are a really good investment. They are more of an expensive investment in terms of performance modifications, but that's like the one of the things that are going to get you, really in tune with your car. This isn't quite a modification, but something along the lines of just knowing the condition of your engine's oil. How many miles has it been since the last change? What kind of oil's in there? Is it dirty? Is it leaking? Right? Being aware of any spots under that may be getting dirty from engine sputter or spill, leaking, dripping, seeping. Long term, these engines, if they're not cared for and they have oiling issues, that's their ultimate failure point. But if you know the condition of the engine and its oil situation, I think these Subaru Boxers, these newer generation FBs, they're gonna last a long time. There's already people at like 300,000, no problem, right? So if you maintain your engine, gasoline burning, petroleum sucking, fire breathing, not quite, but you rev these things out, they make some big smiles. So while the OEM brake package of this Impreza, it's safe and it's good, it just doesn't handle heat well. So I talked about it in my last video, but like good front brake pads, right? Actually, let's do this right now. We're going to talk about the Impreza and its ability to upgrade to an OEM Plus front big brake kit. So the Impreza comes with a front brake package that can be upgraded to a larger front rotor to enable more braking on this little platform. The idea is that you increase the front rotor size and adjust the front caliper bracket while maintaining the OEM caliper itself. It's a 2-pot and it does its job. So if you increase the overall diameter of a brake rotor, you're increasing the brake torque. And by increasing the brake torque, you can slow the car down better. You're also adding a little bit of mass, so that's one thing that offsets it. However, the mass in a front rotor is also a heat store. And we talked about heat earlier, right? So a higher temperature heat hot pad, like a hot street pad, would do you very well. And then coupled with a larger front rotor, you're gaining a little bit of heat capacity there too. So that's a good middle of the road, but very important if you're thinking about driving hard. Having good brakes is safety, right? Rear brakes, don't even bother. Front brakes, like you guys know, maybe something at least 60+%, 70% or more of the braking happens in the front rotors and the front wheels. So if you're gonna upgrade anything, upgrade the front. I did the back too while I was at it, but yeah, warped rotors happen in the front if you take them too hard. So also, if you get a new set of pads and rotors, remember to bed them properly. I think that's what did it. When you bed the brake pad material into the disc, it creates a very good friction surface so that when they made these are semi-metallic pads, I believe, and they're just a good all-around pad. So it's a good upgrade for cars. People have all types of money to spend on interiors, and while I do think it look groovy, I just want to just say that my car is typically just me in the driver's seat and nobody else. So everything else is cargo space in this car for me. Um, well, it's bleak back here. Although I kind of want a new driver's seat. What do you guys all recommend? STI, that's the obvious choice. Recaro, or like maybe even a racing seat. I do like the ability to adjust it. So comments below. So for me, when I started modifying this car, I actually made a conscious decision. It's a financial situation that you're in. It's whatever financial situation you're in. If you find yourself in a good financial situation where you have extra money to spend on yourself or your car or your loved ones, do it, right? But now I'm in a mode of saving, so I haven't done too many modifications. So I'm really just sharing those things that I've modded on my car, so that when you guys do have that leisure, you can make your car better. You know what I should do? I should do go through every single mod that I have, and then just say worth it, not worth it. At some like monetary level. For instance, if you had $100 to spend, would you buy this thing here, the master cylinder brace? No, I would not. What would you buy for $100 instead, Jason? Well, I'd buy that pitch stop for like 70 something dollars, at least 60 something dollars that I bought it for. Yeah, I'd buy that. For $100. For $100. Steering damper lockdown. Yeah, I'd buy that. Would you buy that STI draw stiffener for like 200 something dollars, which they're going for from imported from Japan? Not quite yet. Would you buy those traction bars for $125? I don't know. Probably not. The OEM ones work just fine, but maybe if I have more money. So I'm not trying to flex here, guys. I'm just trying to say that there there are things that you put importance on, right? And handling, bracing, performance were some of the checkpoints in my I don't know mental build list that I wanted to do. And so over time, I'm talking like I've had this car since 2015 December, and it's 2023 now. So it's enjoy that process of building over time. Don't blow your wad all at once, right? Like one at a time, two at a time. Like just know what each part does. That's the funnest part of driving and modding this car, because I know what all of these things have added to the car, and it's great. Everything is additive, right? In these machines, you can't just go and say like I'm gonna spend whatever amount of money and it's gonna make my car amazing. Dude, if you had chip tuning and a turbo, go ahead. That's all you need. Like $350 and you got a chip tune, you got like 80 more horsepower, 100 more horsepower, right, on those turbo cars. But now you're tuning the chassis, you're tuning the suspension, the grip, the braking consistency, the engine, the engine, right? 150 horsepower, 2-liter naturally aspirated, right? That's all you got, right? So there's so many other things that you can mod on these cars. Some people have been swapping in 2.5s, but engine work is like a whole nother thing. This engine's never been pulled out, by the way. And I'm kind of proud of that. It's 45,000 miles now, and for the last 15,000, 20,000 miles, it's just been ripped on, and it's loving it. That CVT transmission also loves it.